when I have today, we have Dr. Emmanuel Timah with us. Doctor, you are very welcome, and you, you are ready to.
Pleasure and a great honor to have this opportunity to share with all the audience. And when Stephen contacted me, that look, I'm not used to having webinars like this. Probably my first when I'm the one to speak or to present. I've attended others. I'm just sitting there quiet and just listening. So I'm not so sure how to approach the topic today. Understanding Thai students, learning styles, behavior, and culture. But I hope that what I'll be able to share today with you will be encouraging, will be enriching and educative, and will help you with some practical and theoretical tools and how to deal with your students and how to improve on your classroom teaching. Okay. So can we have the slides on? Okay, thank you very much, Stephen. So there's the title. Today's message is on understanding Thai students, learning styles, behavior, and culture. But first, I'll give a brief background of myself. As Stephen said, we're brothers from a different mother. I come from Cameroon. If you can see on the next slide, please. Somewhere in the middle, almost central part of Africa there. Today, we'll be just sharing on you and a few things. As you heard from Stephen, we both teach in Trinity International School. I've been teaching there for over in Anuban. You know, Anuban is like kindergarten for Thailand. That's a Thai word for Anuban. So kindergarten, I thought not really. I thought kids, you know, those kindergarten. It was like my first school here in Thailand, and I learned a lot of things growing up in that school. And a lot of things that I've acquired, experience acquired over the years also stem from that route. I've also taught in Vietnam, in Saigon International, and I first started teaching in Cameroon, my home country, before moving over to Thailand. Okay, so that's a brief introduction of myself. I'm a graduate from a PhD graduate from Ubon Ratchathani University. Next slide there, and specializing in physics on nanomaterials and energy devices, and as a research project that I'm still continuing till date. For some of you who teach in the northeast of Thailand, you might have been to Ubon or Nakhon. All right, so thank you very much. So today, I will be sharing on three main things. The first aspect is learning styles, and then we'll also talk four major learning styles like visual, auditory, and reading, writing, and kinesthetics. Kinesthetics. Sometimes some people spell it with I N E. So that simply means if you study physics, you'll know that kinematics has to do with motion and movement of things. So kinesthetics has to do with a more involved, active, physically active way of teaching, getting students having moving or performing something or actually hands-on. And we'll be talking, let's start with the first one, learning by seeing. You, especially if you're teaching something that is more abstract, very good to have pictures, diagrams, charts, and images, or models that can show. I've put in a model there of the students who do this model, using modeling clay and chopsticks. It's quite fun when they're doing it. And each time I'm teaching in class, I want to teach geometry or molecular geometry, not just geometry in maths, but also molecular geometry in chemistry. It reinforce their understanding of whatever you're teaching. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So just having those visual aids is very important. Sometimes you can use YouTube videos. I also use that in my class sometimes. If I have some concept that is related to that video. So it's a very good thing to introduce in your class. Okay, next slide, please. The next one is learning by hearing. So hearing involves two things, right? Speaking and listening. So you've got to hear somebody say something, and then you may have to respond to it. Um, One thing in Thailand is that a lot of students are not very good at this aspect, or they tend not to prefer this aspect of learning. And but we need to encourage them, especially in most of the schools here in Thailand. A lot of the students are here students language, and this could be just friend, and that can be a very good thing. In my science classes, I've introduced a lot of things like debating, which is strange, but I let them discuss and debate on topics like energy, renewable energy. Is it preferable than fossil fuels? Or they could also debate on Okay. So
Ghana is
yeah,
Ghanaian.
role plays. Gollywood. Okay, thank you. That's great. So let them just act. Some of them that don't even speak at all in class, they maybe you can ask questions, nobody, none of them. But when they get into those role plays, they become more active. You see them, they are even like the leaders. You say, wow, I didn't see that coming. So it's a good thing that you can introduce in your class to reinforce understanding. The next one that I also introduced few times is let them do some activities. Next slide already. Yeah. So you can see there on the left side, you have a model of like crystal structure. In maths, you can also use that in maths for geometry. And then in the middle slide there, you have like a windmill. So to learn about how to uh, apply the concept of energy and conversion of one energy to another, for example, potential into kinetic or kinetic into potential, and how to convert wind energy into kinetic energy. So it's a very good project, not just getting them to apply those concepts, but also when they are doing it, they are interacting with one another, and they are involved in critical thinking. They are engaged, they are communicating with one another, and it's a one way that you can use to get groups of students that never talk to each other to start talking with one another, and it's very good way of teaching. So introducing all these. On the last picture there, you have that's a chemical reaction taking place between baking soda and vinegar. So these are common materials that you can have in your homes and also in the classroom. I always have those things by the side. If I'm teaching something and it's like they're not getting it, I just bring in those demonstrations and get them involved into it. There are some students that after 5 minutes, that's one thing with Thai students. Of course, maybe with the new generation now, the attention span is not that long. When I was growing up, we could attend lessons for 2 hours and without falling asleep. But this generation, just 5-10 minutes, they are already getting distracted. So getting them do these things is a one way to motivate them so that they become engaged and feel also a part of the class as well. I had an incident just on Thursday, just a few days ago, in one of my classes. There's the student. He was playing with the phone, so I took the phone away. But he was looking disinterested. Whatever I was doing, he was not like paying attention to it. But okay, when I switched to the demonstration and say, okay, who wants to volunteer to do this? He's the first to put up the hand. He wants to be part of it. And immediately after that demonstration, he became really motivated in the class. He was now taking notes, paying attention. So if you can introduce these activities at any point in your class, it's a very good way to improve your students' understanding and their participation and engagement. Okay, just a few minutes. I'm having problems with my battery, so I may have to charge that. I really forgot to charge this up earlier on in the day. Okay, so I hope that doesn't disrupt that much. Okay, so the next slide, please. All right, so this is an experiment that I did, I think around in late December. That's quite a bit. About 2 months ago. I have some videos on this, but I thought that is gonna be very slow to put on the video. But this is a chemical reaction between sodium and water. So it's something that you can do, but yeah, we did it one time, and there was a fire alarm every minute. So, but it's something you can do outdoors, and it's so much fun. The students love it, and they always want me to do it again. So just simple demonstrations like that, they can see what they learn in class, and they can feel, they can, oh, this is an just the concept exothermic. Some of them, they just feel it's so abstract. What is it all about? But when they can see the heat produce, the light, the fire, the smoke, oh, that is going to make them understand much better. There is this quote from this very famous Chinese proverb from Confucius. Next slide, please. It says, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. So it's a very good strategy for teaching. So when we know that if the students can say something to one another, you just say it to them, they say it to one another, that's good, but they are also going to forget. But if you show them using visual aids, okay, they can remember to some extent. But when they actually get involved, hands-on, doing things, it helps them to understand and even to reinforce their memory and understanding of those things. So it's a very general and more effective way of teaching, getting the students engaged, getting them involved. Next slide, please. So what are some takeaways from here? So I've just put use local context examples. All right, that seems a bit funny, but it's something that works, especially for Thai students, Sticky rice. Sticky rice is very common in Thailand. Some of my students come to my class and they have sticky rice in their hands. And I just use it, and I use it for my lesson. Okay, you eating sticky rice. What about the chemistry class concerning sticky rice? Now, some sticky rice have the beans inside of it. So I say, okay, that models the structure of the atom, especially the Dalton's model. That rice section, which is white, is the entire positive charge of the atom, and those beans are negative charges inside there. So this sticky rice pudding models the plum pudding structure of the atom as suggested by Dalton. And some of them can remember just by you using those local examples that they see every day, they eat also almost every day. And another example there, the Bhumibol Dam, which is the largest dam in Thailand. I always refer to that when I'm teaching about water pressure, like hydroelectricity, and how pressure increases with depth. Why are the dams built with very thick bases? Okay, that's because pressure increases with depth. And sometimes I just open up, who have been to Bhumibol Dam? It's a historic tourist attraction, and I've been there once, not, I think just once, yeah. So when you can relate those things to them, something that it's also in their country, it's part of their history, it will help them to get engaged and to also understand much more better what you're teaching. Okay, next slide. So that's what I could share for now concerning learning styles. Okay, feel free to ask any questions if anybody has any questions. All right, we're gonna move on to the second section out of 3, which is behaviors. So from my experience, I would classify the behaviors of Thai students and Thai people in general into three classes. There's the why, there is the 7 phase, and there is the Sanuk. Sanuk. Okay, let's start with the why. Next slide, please. The why is, it's like a way of greetings. The Thais always want to show this deep respect. There is a certain fish, I think it's the Saba fish. There's some people call it Sawadee crab fish because it's always bowing the head like that. It's like wine. And so this is one thing that you that is very typical about Thai people, and it's a good thing that ability to show respect to authority, to elders, and to people that are above you. And the Thai students really have deep respect for teachers. Sometimes even when I go to the immigration and I either renewing my visa or something like that, and they ask, oh, they went once they just see that, oh, you are a teacher, they just start to smile and they're so happy. If I go to the shopping mall or to the bank or some other place, once they ask, oh, what are you doing in Thailand? What is your job? I say, I'm a teacher. And they say, wow, kun kru. They're so happy. So they have that respect. Even after they have graduated and they have started working, they still show a lot of respect for their teachers. And it's a very good thing, very helpful. If we understand that, we could use that for both the advantage and advantage and help them in the teaching process. The second one is saving face. Next slide, please. The Thai people call this kreng jai. So usually, I think it's not just typical with Thai people, it's not general for most people, right? That you don't want to lose faith, especially when you are in a crowd or there are so many people around you and you don't want to stand out. You just want to be in the crowd. You just want to be mixed in there. You don't want to do something that is going to call for attention and people just looking at you or pointing at you. A lot of Thai students are shy. And even the ones that are outspoken, they still have, they have just learned to be more outspoken and to get involved in things, but they still have that in them, that degree of shyness. They don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to be laughed at. Sometimes I have some students, when they answer a question wrongly, and then their friends just start to laugh at them, and yeah, they feel, they feel humiliated, and it's difficult for them to want to answer another question again. So if sometimes what I do is, if I call them and they don't answer, okay, I just understand, and I move on to another student who wants to answer the question, and I find some other way to encourage and motivate them to get involved in the class, either by answering question or doing some hands-on activity. And so it's a very good thing that we can understand about Thai students. Some of them, there are a lot of exceptions amongst them. There are people, especially if you teach in English programs or in international schools, it's a kind of different dynamic there. Most of the students will be outspoken, but you're still gonna have a good percentage that gonna be hesitant to either ask or to answer questions or to be involved in some speaking activities in class. All right. The next one is Sanuk. Sanuk. Sanuk means fun. Most people always tell me, especially Thai people, it is you are arongdi. You are arongdi. Anyway, I like to make my activities fun. To me, it's one way to get the students motivated. It's one way to get their attention in the first place. So when they know that the environment is not too tense, it's more lively, it's more active, they're gonna be willing to engage. They'll be willing to participate, to get involved in it. So you'll see most of my classes. I have to learn this and develop it over the years. It's still a work in progress, but I try to make my class as fun as possible. I teach physics, I teach chemistry. So some of those concepts are really complex. So if you don't make it fun, some of them I just give up. Right from the beginning, they just give up. So I try to make it as fun and sabai easy as possible, but still I don't lose the quality of the class. The quality should still be there. but they still learn those things in a more fun and a bit relaxed way. The third aspect, so we've talked about learning styles, we talked about behavior, and we'll talk about culture. Okay, the next slide, please. So, as I said before, saving face is something that is not only um, something of the students, even the adults, the learners things. So, how do we help students to 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 improve on this? My first take is empathy. So when you have empathy, empathy is like you try to understand the students, um, and see from what background they're coming. I teach sometimes in some places, and the students, they come in from Thai schools into an international school, and their English language, it's really bad. So, but if you understand that situation, instead of being harsh or strict on them, you can want to be able to help them, exercise patience on them, be gentle on them, and encourage them, motivate them to want to work hard. They could be at a higher grade, but their English language is like 2, 3 grades lower than that. So empathy is a very good thing that we can exercise. Having understanding of your students in helping them, especially those that are shy or those that they're introverts. They don't want to speak out. All right. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so we talked about saving face, which is more like a general thing. um, as I said earlier, most students will just prefer to be quiet. So not that they don't know. There are some students that are really smart. I've taught many students like that. They are super smart, they're intelligent, but they just quiet. If you do not deliberately engage them, they will be quiet the entire week, the entire month, in that class. So there was one thing that I did with one of my students, I think about 2 years ago. In the first few months, she never, even when I call her to answer a question, she doesn't speak. And sometimes I give them a presentation, so she won't speak. Okay, I say, okay, how about you come and present to me after school or when everybody after the class. And she comes and she speaks, she presents it, you know. So that's like empathy, understanding it. And that happens for a while. And then I started taking it step by step. Okay, I said, all right, I'm going to give points of participation. You are one of the best students. If you don't speak even a little in class, you're going to have low participation. Okay, she thought I was just kidding or just joking. And then I started giving the scores on that, and she was seeing her grades going down. And then she started speaking, you know. So it's good to be gentle, take it step by step, and get them involved. Tell them the reason, show them a reason to be able to participate or to want to participate, even though they will feel shy at first, but with time, they'll begin to pick up confidence and be able to speak publicly. The next aspect is hierarchy. You know, that's one thing I love about Thailand, not just for the students, but the Thai society in general. They really show a lot of respect to hierarchy. You could see it even amongst the teachers, even amongst the civil service staffs. They always show this great respect to those who are higher up them. And this is very good thing. Even amongst the students, the lower grades show a lot of respect to the higher grades. And it's not only something in Thailand, even in other cultures. I've learned also in Korea, they also uphold this hierarchy stuff very seriously. And if we understand that, we could sometimes use the elderly students to channel some information or some ideas to the younger ones. Sometimes I use my grade 12 students and grade 11 students to help assist the younger grades, either in a project or in something, because they can better understand them, and they also want to show respect to them. The next aspect is morality. Morality. Of course, when we teach students, we not just focus on the head knowledge, but we also want them to be good morally, right? So to have good moral values. And in Thai society, that is a very common thing. You could see them, especially in the mornings when you go into school. You can see them, some of them stand by the side of the road to give some food or some gift to the monks. So they really uphold caring for one another as something so good. Even in my school, sometimes when I carry my things from my classroom to the lab, some students just voluntarily come to help me carry the materials on my laptop or something, and then help me carry them to the lab. So it's very good thing that we can find in the Thai society. So I'm going to conclude all of this by what we call the holistic approach. Next slide, please. I think next 3 slides. More. Next slide again. Again. Okay, there. Thank you. So the holistic approach. So there are 4 aspects. The 4 E's: to educate, to engage, to explore, and to experience. So in education, we don't just want to give them facts, information, but we want to go beyond that, to develop the students. Get them engaged in something. This will improve on their understanding. It will enhance their critical thinking, and they are highly motivated to be part of this class. As I said initially, the students really love those hands-on activities when they are engaged, when they are involved in something that involves physical movement. And the next one, to explore. It is not just for the students, even for us teachers. Sometimes it's good to explore other ways of communicating, other ways of delivering our lessons to them. So not just stereotype to one single way or one single method. Try different ways to explain a concept. Sometimes I've taught a lesson, and then maybe I find some information on YouTube that relates to that lesson and gives a better insight or clearer way of and simpler way of understanding. The next day I just bring it up and I do it. So we should be willing to explore and other options and possibilities of teaching the same thing or same topic. So I teach some classes like chemistry grade 10, A and B. So sometimes you can see what I teach in B is slightly the different approach from the A class, because I just feel, okay, I've taught this, how can I improve on that? So I explore other ways of improving, just try. And sometimes it works much better, sometimes not perfectly, but it's still something that you can learn from and grow in experience. As I say, experience is the best teacher. So not as experience for us, let the students experience something. And I've put in the next slide is just what are the different things we can do to engage, to explore, and to let students improve on their experience. Next slide, please. So as you can see here, when I say educate, we want to educate the students not just with information, but mentally, morally, and spiritually. That's a holistic approach. So sometimes I'm not just teaching that physics or chemistry, I'm also giving them some proverbs in class, some life lessons, that they can use in even after the class and in all their lives. So it's very good that we do not only focus on that, but give them that general teaching. There is this quote from this Indian philosopher. He says, the highest education is that which doesn't give us just mere education, but make our life in harmony with all existence. So it's transcending just the mental aspect, but also going to their moral and spiritual life to improve them as a human being in general. So when we grow in this area, it also helps the student to grow as well educationally. The next aspect of education is knowledge. Next slide, please. So sometimes it's difficult to understand the difference: knowledge, understanding, wisdom. So knowledge is just that information you're giving to them, the data that they are receiving from you. What are you teaching about? Now you have to move to the next level, which is understanding. How are you gonna make them understand? How does that process actually take place? Do they need to do some analysis, some interpretation about it? So they have to diagnose a lot of things, you know. And then the last and most important stage of any education or learning is wisdom. How important that is, that knowledge to you? Why is it important? Why am I learning this? How can I apply it in everyday life, right? How can I use it in making decisions? So we have to move whatever we're learning. It doesn't necessarily have to be in one class, but over like a week or months of a lesson or a topic or a chapter that you're teaching should be able to embody all these three aspects of intellect. The next slides there, as you will see, they show some activity. Just a few weeks ago, we have the science fair activity in my school. It's something that we do every year. And it's a very interesting, very fun, very enriching, entertaining, and exciting way of letting students learn. There are some students, you know, they never submit homework, they never do anything. But it's during science fair you see them, they are really active. You know, they are engaged, they are working with their friends, making projects, building things, and it's really exciting. And of course, it's demanding, it requires time, it requires effort, but it's worth it when you think about what do the students learn through these processes. Okay, and in the next slide, I've shown some very simple hands-on activities that students can be engaged in. The first one there, you see the three candlelights. Actually, those are not students from my school, but they are students that I teach in other communities, with the missions, with the church. So we teach some students in either they live in the suburbs or they live in those areas where they don't have enough um, resources. So we go there, we teach them English, we teach them the Bible, we teach them, I teach them science. It's a general teaching. And I get them involved in these activities and they love it. You know, just making the light, that light that you see, it's rice. We use the rice, we use oil, okay, and then we just dip the candle into it, and just like tissue, actually coated with the tissue paper, or with we could also use cotton balls, and then just dip the oil in it and light it, and it can light for a long time. You know, it's just simple activities that get them involved. And then group activities, I get them not necessarily hands-on. It could be like projects where they present to each other in groups. So they work on that in groups before the presentation. And after that, they can come to the front and each person takes a section and explains to his classmates. So it's very good way to engage and to get students explore different things. Some of them love these activities. You know, they don't really participate in class, but when it comes to these kind of things, activities, presentations, they are the champions. You know, and then the project there you see there is one of the science fair projects that my students did. It's like a air purification system. You know, I just tell them to do it, and I say, okay, you go search for the information on how to do it. And they came out with that. It's truly amazing. You never know what the students are capable of until you give them the opportunity to showcase their abilities and their talents. So as I said, we want a more holistic approach, which doesn't necessarily mean just what you do in the classroom. There are a lot of things you could do out of the classroom that could also motivate, encourage students to learn better. The next slide, please. So one way, as I said, is building bonds. You know, sometimes even after the class, the students come to me. You know, I give them cookies, I give them candies, but sometimes they just come to discuss, to chat, you know, and we take pictures and we're happy. So Thai students love this, even international students, they love this. They just come. So, but they won't come if you do not give them that opportunity, if they don't trust in you, if you don't build any connection with them, they will not come to you. So and I really love this. When they come, they can ask questions and they can share their opinions on something. Sometimes you don't know what they're thinking about on particular thing or aspect in class until after school. If they have that opportunity, they can share with you. That could help you how to manage them, how to help them, and to improve on their learning. And as Stephen said, I'm very active in sports as well. So I organize after school activities. Either is futsal, you know, the essence is not, it's just to connect with the students, to build the bonds, because I don't teach all classes. So these are some opportunities that give me the chance to connect and to bond with other students that I do not teach. And they love it. It's very good. And then I've put the the field trips. One thing I learned about Thai schools is that they organize a lot of field trips, and the students also love it. And Thai students particularly, they love field trips. I mean, our students love field trips. Yeah, so long as it's free, so long as it takes them out of the classroom, you know, they love those things. Yeah, so the field trips is another way they could experience something in the real life, you know, outside of the classroom. They could apply, they can connect. It builds them up in their behavior, social interactions. You know, their social skills will improve when they interact outside of the school and experience something firsthand. Okay, I know I'm taking a lot of time. I'm almost rounding up here. The last one, the next slide there, if you can see there. Yeah, I love that. Getting to know them personally. I love that too. Yeah, which is actually one of the key things. Um, so the takeaway there is that we want to build connection. We want to get to relate to them, right? When you build those bonds, is to have good relationship with them. And it's just like, if you know, just like a football coach, if you know your players very well, you know them, it's easy to manage them. So it's the same with our students. If we know them, I mean, we don't need to know too much secrets about them or personal stuff, but we should be able to know enough that can help us to better help them to improve, especially those that are struggling. If they're doing well academically, okay, that's fine. But those that are struggling, it's good to find out. You know, some students come out from homes that are not in good terms. Maybe the parents are not in good terms. Maybe there's abuse at home, you know. If we get to understand them, we could help them in those situations. And in every school I go, you know, one of my key things is to make a good rapport, good relationship with not just with the students, but also the administrative staffs, all the staffs, and also with the parents, you know, because the parents play a very important role in the child's education. Some parents always come to me as, how is my child doing? Um, they don't know the child had a homework to do. I say, oh, they had homework. You need to encourage them. You need to make sure they're doing the homework. Some parents do care, and some, we may say they don't care, but maybe they are so busy and they don't have that time allocated for that. So we are like parents to them, and we are like nurses to them. We can nurture them to improve. Okay, some other activities that I do. Next slide, please. You can see that we could share some cultural, next slide, values. You know, I think something is missing there. Can you go back? Back again? Okay, there you go. Yeah, so the first picture that you see me there, I'm dressed in my Cameroon traditional attire, and one of my students, I'm teaching them how to greet in Cameroon. I be okay. I'm a chief. In like a chieftaincy, they have the particular way you greet the elders. I say Igwe, Igwe, Igwe. I think that's also common in Nigeria as well. So, and they love it. It's one way to get out the tension in the classroom and just do something different in that, and then they love it. And then in the middle there, sometimes I do cooking classes. In my current school, I haven't done that enough, maybe just twice. And they always keep reminding me, we want to do it again, we want Cameroon puff puff. Can you do it? Can you do yours? I've done it, I think, twice in my current school, and it's something that the purpose is not just about the learning, but just the connection, building relationship with them, getting to know them personally, and the building bonds. And you never know what comes out good from it. So I'm not sure about other details, but so far this is what I gathered to share with you guys. Understanding Thai students, learning styles, behavior, and culture. I think this, what I've shared, may be profitable and help you. So, are there any questions or any comments that someone wants to make?
Thank you so much. This has been very eye-opening, and God bless. Thank you for the time. Thank you for everything. Your brothers and sisters are going to learn a lot from your experience. Please,
Amen.
the time for question and answers is now. If you have any question, contribution, please go ahead. Yes, Crew Diamond, please. Your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I came in very late.
No problem.
Yeah, yeah, but then I have always wanted to know about it. Sometimes, oh my, I'm echoing, right? I
Hold
think I
on.
can.
Doctor, can you please mute your phone for us? Okay, thank
Is
you.
it okay now?
Diamond, go ahead.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, if you have a classroom where some students don't know any English, but others has been into like for example, I teach Matayom. So I have some students that don't know any English, like they never been in English program, and others they were in English program, and then these two kids are in the same classroom. How do you go about that? Like teaching them?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, and it's something that we currently have in our school.
Yeah.
We have some new students that have come in, and it's like they are on, say, level 1
Yeah.
in terms of English, and the rest of the class is like on level 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a huge gap there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing that I do personally in my classes is starting with vocabulary. So the key vocabularies for each topic, I usually start with that. I give them out. You go and find out what these terms mean. You can use your dictionaries. Okay, some of them are Thai, some of them are Korean, some of them are Japanese, some of them are Chinese. I say, okay, you're free to use your dictionary. Just find out what these words mean, first of all, before we're even starting that particular topic. So it's a good way for them to already have an idea of those things. And another thing that my school is also doing for now is using they used to call it the ESL program. Now it's changed to ELA program, but it's like a special program for those students that are having challenges with the language. And there are quite a good number of them this year, and as even starting last year. And it's called it like we have to immerse them. We call it an immersion program. So they have to go through that program, learning extra English, and just to at least get to a middle level. Yeah, so that's one thing that the school is doing, and that's something that I do in my class to help them. And of course, sometimes if the students and they just like intermediate, that's a bit better. They can improve quickly.
Yeah.
Like I had a student 3 years ago. He was he was kind of like an intermediate, but now he's advanced in his language because he works hard. So it's easy to help them if they are willing to work hard. If they're willing to work hard, okay, you say, okay, this is the plan. I'm gonna give you 1 day or 2 days a week. Can you make it? Okay, if you can do 1 day, okay, let's take that. Can you meet me after school, 3 to 3:30? Let's work on this. Let me see how I can explain this to you more. So if they have that barrier, it's difficult to learn the main concepts itself. So one way to help them is give them that extra opportunity to learn and to go through, use their dictionaries, have some time with them after school, and then you give them what they can do even at home. So because now we have a lot of technology that they can use to improve on their language. So if the only problem, if they are willing to put that extra effort. If they are willing, then it's easy to help them. But if they are not, it's gonna be a challenge throughout.
Mhm. Like that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any more questions, please?
I have a follow-up, but then I was waiting for you to give me the go ahead.
Yeah, doctor,
Okay, go
your
ahead.
phone is on
So
mute.
so it's one thing for them to get to understand the vocabulary words, but then I also teach science. The other issue is, even when you teach the concept and they understood everything, and then you give them a test, they can't write the answers, though they understood everything that you said, because those kids don't know anything about English. How can I do? How do I go about that? I have some ideas. I just want to hear what you're gonna say, doctor. Okay. Yeah.
Your microphone, doctor.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Did you?
okay. Yeah, I have some
Mm.
students like that. They seem to understand in class, but when it comes to the test, they have problems with some vocabs. What my school and I we've been doing over the years is we allow them in the test to use the dictionary, right? But the dictionary that they cannot go into the internet. So they can use the dictionary for keywords, because when I work with them, particularly when we do a practice, we always focus especially on those that have language problems. They say, take note of this keyword. Okay, if you understand the keyword, you understand the problem, because that's general, either math or science. They're always keywords. The concepts are gonna be the same and the application, but if you don't understand the keywords, you can easily go off track. So we allow them to use their dictionaries, especially to understand those keywords, and some of them do well. Um, but but we have a problem just last December. Yeah, some students started. They were using some advanced dictionaries. It's the digital dictionaries, and we found out that it was giving them much more information than just like a dictionary. So we stopped them from using it, and they can only use paper dictionaries or hard copies of dictionaries going forward. So I think that's the main thing. I do practice with them, and I focus on those keywords. So if you understand these keywords, okay, the rest of the things will follow from it. But still, it's a challenging one. So maybe you can, what you're gonna share could add more light to that.
Pro Diamond. You want to share something?
Oh yeah, so exactly what he said. I like that too, because I always make sure that, because I teach science, I always make sure I start with the vocabulary for the topic, and then I even go to the extent of even letting them learn how to even pronounce the scientific terms correctly. So I do that. It's more like I'm teaching science slash English language at the same time. So yeah, I go to the extent of doing that. And then also, like, I even give them translation. I have Google Translator sometimes. Like, okay, if this word is hard for you, you can write Pastor Thai a little bit around the words in your notebook so that you don't forget what you learn. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So yeah, I like the dictionary part. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Brother Pierre, no.
Oh, okay. Uh, my question is, as a teacher here in Thailand, as a black teacher here, how can we fight racism? Being from the student side or the teacher side?
Okay, that's a very tricky question there, and I'm glad that it came up. Yeah, when I first came to Thailand, I wasn't used to this racist thing. It was new to me. I mean, I come from Cameroon. Everybody is black, right? So when I came here, and so they started calling me as black guy, condemn. The first few weeks I was really irritated. I was mad. No, I was really mad, and of course I knew that. I mean, you cannot pick up a fight with them when it comes to this, because the thing is that I was not only facing it from the students, even from some teachers as well. So, but I approached it from the Christian way. I I overcame that and understood, okay, you can call me whatever you call me. If you call me, I smile. You call me, I say, I love you. Sometimes they just want to provoke you. So most of them, especially the naughty students, they just do that to provoke you. And the thing is, do not get involved in any of those things, any offenses. Don't pick any offense at them. And that's my own way that I able to solve this problem. If they call me that, I smile at them. I don't frown. I say, oh, I love you, and after some times they will just stop calling, because they're not getting the negative reaction they are expecting. They're only getting a positive reaction, and they know it's not working. And I have actually got some students who come later on after some months, and they say they are sorry for what they did. They did not understand why they did it. And sometimes it's a group thing. When one person starts it, other people in that group just take it up and started doing it. But if we can be understanding, you are not in your country, you're elsewhere. I mean, if you go to America, you face the same thing, right? You go to China or Korea, anywhere, you face this kind of situation. But don't take it personal. And that's one way to solve it. Don't take it personal. And I've been to, especially when I was applying for jobs, you go somewhere and you apply and you're qualified, and they do the interview and you're good. And some other person just comes and does it, and that they didn't do a good job, but they pick them anyway because maybe they are from Europe or America. You know, I just say, okay, what is for me will come to me. It- just don't take it as a personal battle, because you will definitely lose it. But if you commit everything to God, just be positive about it. If when they call it, they'll get tired and then they will stop and they will understand that it's not a good thing to do. And I mean, that's my own personal way that I overcame this problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And to Steve, can I can I
Yes,
add
please
something
go
on what
ahead.
Doctor just said? Hello.
You can go ahead. Yeah.
So yeah, people have been fighting racism since the dawn of humanity. So it's not an easy subject to even think that you can solve it. What I can say is that it starts from you knowing who you are. You see, as Black people, sorry to say, most of us don't know how special we are as Black people. So I have experienced racism before, but it never affected me. And I try to tell people more about Black people because once you are Black, the moment you are born in this 21st century, everything is against you, all odds. It's like you're playing a game that the game is rigged. So you so you have to make sure that wherever you find yourself as a Black person, you always have to prove yourself to be better than everybody. Once they see that, they'll get to know the real you. And trust me, you will never experience racism. In my school like this, I've been in the same school for almost 13 years now. Everybody respects me. The kids, like in my school department, I fix all the school PCs. Everything, I'm like the administrator there. So how do you even approach me with racism? Because you see the things I'm doing. So we have to better ourselves too. If you want to take that off, because most of the people that are racist, one, they are ignorant. The two is they are not well educated. They don't know who a Black person is. So sometimes when you teach, for example, I can tell you if you come to my school, none of my kids will be racist towards you. I always try as much as possible to use Black people in everything I do. Like when I'm giving examples, even when I'm teaching about genetics, I tell them about the genes, the dominant genes. I remember one time I told them that, so yeah, you see, you can always get the recessive gene from the dominant gene. You can never get the dominant from the recessive. So it means all of you here, your great great grandparents are Black. They was like, no, teacher, we are not from Africa. I was like, and then I tried to explain to them. So just try to better this, but please, like Doctor said, don't ever take racism personal because the people that are racist, sorry to say, most of them are one, poor people, uneducated, they don't have any world exposure and they are ignorant. So that's why they are racist. But if you know who you are, I mean, you took a plane to come all the way to Thailand. You're not a small person, you know? You have exposure. You are well educated. It shouldn't be something that you take it personal. I will even try to like educate them why this person. Because my students like, teacher, why are you Black? And I am brown. I was like, they even said they are white. I said, no human being is white. You are brown. If you are white, then you are a ghost. And yeah, I showed them some Black people that were born in Europe. Then I tried to explain them because some of these kids, they thought that we are Black because of the sun. Like the sun makes us Black. I was like, no, it's genetics. You can be born in Iceland. If you are Black, your kids will be Black if your wife is Black. So I tried to show them, I showed them some, we call them the islanders. They are Black people. Some of them have blonde hair and blue eyes, but their parents are all Black. So I told them that we produce all these colors. And even like if you go through science deeply, you understand that the human beings, like the Black people, we are the original copy of mankind. Like we are one with nature. That should make you feel proud that even when someone is racist towards you, it shouldn't even affect you because you know you are better than them. Because when you study genetics, you start to understand that the lighter your skin means the weaker your genes are. So that's all these things are in science. I even told them the father of genetics, Gregory Mendel, he said these things, not me. And he's white and he approves what I'm teaching them. So let's get to know ourselves and better ourselves. You know, once you better yourself, I have white people in my school, but everything about the English program, I'm the one that my boss comes to. Even when I hire a foreign teacher, she will send me the videos of them and I'll say, okay, we approve this one. And then we take this person out. I fix white people's computers at my school and they are white people. Some of them don't even know how to do Google Form or even freaking Microsoft Word. So better yourself, understand yourself, and don't take things personal. I'm telling you, people will respect you and no one will be racist towards you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good insight. And as you said, value yourself, because we are here is because what we bring to the table. If they value what you bring into the table, they even, okay, they may keep it to themselves, but they won't voice it out because they know what you bring into the table.
Exactly.
So that was a very good insight.
Yeah.
Value yourself. If there's anything you need to improve on, either
Yes.
professionally, just work on that
Yeah.
and improve, because that's what really matters to them in the end.
Yeah.
Are you able to deliver it? If you're delivering the good and the students appreciate it and like you and they support what you're doing,
Yeah.
it's difficult for any other person to kick you out, because the students really hold a very high stake. Yeah.
Mm. True. I have students' parents even calling me that they want me to be like a mentor to their kids. Yeah. Students' parents, they call me that they want to be me to be mentor. Like they even tell me like personal things about their family and all that. And I'm Black. So it's all about who you are, how you project yourself at the workplace, and what you bring out to the table. All the racism will end. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I came in late.
No problem. Yeah, I just to add to that, in one of my former schools, I had one parent. He always comes and pick me up on the weekend. If it's Friday, you come and pick me up. We go to their family house. We spend the weekend there, Saturday, Sunday evening. He brings me back to school. So and they are all white. So they just made me to feel like I'm one of them. So as he said, if you value yourself and you're doing your job well, they won't have any reason to throw any racist abuse on you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I have totally been surprised. Everything that we have said here is for our own good, and thank you so much to Simon and Ejime for the contribution and the questions you asked. So far, our certificates have been dispatched. Kindly check your email. You will receive a link to download the PDF. If you did not, and you fill the form, kindly let me know. I think on behalf of all the Ghanaians and all our African brothers and sisters, we will say thank you, Mr. Timah, for this. And I think we have you either next week or next 2 weeks. Yeah, I think next week.
Yeah, I'll check on that again.
Talk about it and then arrange everything for that. This has been very good thing for all of us. Thank you. And those of you who are here, if you have any question, we are always here every weekend, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Today, our time didn't favor us, so we are already on beyond our mark. But thank you for being here. All I'll say, Sawadi Krab. Thank you so much. How do you say thank you in French?
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Merci. Thank you.
God
Merci
bless us
beaucoup.
all.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and I hope that you were blessed and enriched as well. Thank you for all those who shared and asked questions. I also learned a lot of things from that. Thank you so much, and see you again next time. God bless you all.
Ronaldo Baku, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's quite a good number of people that attend, right? I'm so blessed, and I really thank all of you for coming. Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
See you again. See you again.
Thank you
For
for
now, I think the rest of our time, Alex,
wonderful
please.
event.
That can be a call to Tiago.
Alex, stop the video.